Fire Cats, Crookedstar's Promise by Erin Hunter, Chapter 15. Stop, Mapleshade yowled, but I haven't done it perfectly yet. Crooked Paw lunged forward again, his belly brushing the ground. He twisted, thrusting out his hind paws with a grunt of effort. In the days since the battle, he'd practiced harder than ever. Mapleshade ignored him. Stop. I have to get this right. Crooked Paw scrambled to his paws. I'm never going to be beaten again. You must wake up, Crooked Paw, Mapleshade hissed. Something's happening. Crooked Paw stared at her in alarm. Is the clan in trouble? Wake up! Crooked Paw blinked open his eyes. He scrambled to his paws, heart racing. The apprentice's den was dark. He could hardly see the walls. Paws pricking, he slipped into the clearing and looked up at the sky. The moon was no more than a claw scratch. Dawn was lighting the distant moorland. The thaw, which had followed the defeat at Sunning Rocks, had left the camp muddy. The reeds drooped, feigning death. The snow had melted, revealing moss once more. It squelched under Paw as Crooked Paw padded toward the reed bed. He peered through the stiff stems, tasting the air. Hellstar's scent hung there, timber firs too. Crooked Paw followed their trail, picking out the fresh scent of Ottersplash, Owlfur, and Rippleclaw as he neared a gap in the sedge. They'd left camp recently. Crooked Paw ducked, ready to follow. Just then, a screech tore the air. Bristling, Crooked Paw spun around. It had come from the other side of the river. A yowl followed it. Ottersplash! Crooked Paw darted across the clearing and leaped onto the fallen tree. Weaving past the dens, he headed along the jutting branch until he was above the reeds. His gaze followed the sliding river far upstream to the distant bank. Ottersplash and Owlfur were pelting down the slope from WindClan territory. They skimmed the low bushes with long strides. Rippleclaw and Timberfur followed. Dark bundles swung from their jaws. Crooked Paw's heart skipped a beat as he heard mewling. The kits! They have the kits! Hellstar pounded after them, a WindClan warrior spitting at his heels. Reed Feather. Crooked Paw recognized the bristling pelt. 4 snarling clanmates sped alongside him. Timberfur and Rippleclaw were nearing the river. Crooked Paw gripped the bark under his claws as the camp stirred behind him. What's happening? Who's yowling? Dens rustled and Paws hurried over wet moss. Oakheart scuttled along the branch and crouched behind him. What is it? Just watch. Crooked Paw kept his gaze fixed on the fleeing patrol. Get into the river, Hellstar's yowl rang loud in the dawn air. Timberfur and Rippleclaw sprang off the shore and plunged into the shallows. Willowquit squealed. It's cold! Help! Greykit was shrieking. Hellstar slowed and turned to face Reed Feather. The WindClan warrior stopped, a whisker from Hellstar's nose. His clanmates charged past him to the river's edge. You can't steal my kits. Hellstar glanced over his shoulder toward Rippleclaw and Timberfur, who stood belly deep in the water. His eyes lit with triumph. We already have. Spitting, Reed Feather struck the RiverClan leader with a blow so fierce it sent him crashing against a rock. Crooked Paw's breath stopped. Hellstar lay still. Get up! Get up! Had the RiverClan leader given his final life to save the kits? Reed Feather charged for the shore, following his clanmates. He paused at the river's edge as the others waded in, snarling. Ottersplash and Owlfur turned in the shallows and met their pursuers with a flurry of vicious swipes, knocking one WindClan warrior back. Owlfur spun around and sent another floundering out of his depth with a mighty blow. Ottersplash dived under the belly of a dark tabby tom and sent him lurching off balance with a heave of her shoulders. As their clanmates held off WindClan, Rippleclaw and Timberfur plunged toward RiverClan, necks stretched as they held the kits above water. Reed Feather stared wildly at the RiverClan warriors as the RiverClan warriors staggered from the river and dropped the kits on the marshy bank. His clanmates struggled back to shore on the WindClan side and hauled themselves out. Reed Feather turned to them in dismay. We can't give up. Those are my kits. Without waiting for an answer, he whirled around and leaped into the river. Give them back, he screeched. Behind him, Hellstar moved. He struggled to his paws and pelted after Reed Feather. With a grunt of effort, he jumped onto the Wind Clan deputy's back, sending him flailing forward into the river. As Reedfeather surfaced, spluttering, Hellstar lunged forward with his front paws outstretched and thrust the Wind Clan warrior beneath the water. His eyes glowed, reflecting the rising sun as he held Reedfeather down. The other Wind Clan warriors backed away up the slope, their eyes as round as owls. Bubbles rose around Hellstar's paws. Reedfeather was fighting for his life. Let him go, Crookedpaw leaned forward, trembling. Don't kill him. The kids are safe. Hellstar, stop! Alfar splashed to his leader's side. You're killing him. Hellstar gazed at his clanmates, dazed. He released his grip and staggered backward. Alfar tugged at Reedfeather's pelt. Help me get him out, he spluttered. Hellstar darted forward and grabbed Reedfeather's scruff. Together, they dragged him to the shore on Wind Clan's side. Weak with relief, Crookedpaw hurried toward the kits. Rippleclaw pressed against Willow Kit, while Timberfur lapped at Grey Kit's dripping fur. The kit's gaze was fixed on the far shore where Hellstar and Alfar leaned over their father's limp body. Is he dead? Willow Kit wailed. Alfar began to rub Reedfeather's chest. Should I get Brambleberry? Crookedpaw offered. Rippleclaw looked up, his eyes dark. It'd be too late. Suddenly, Reedfeather coughed, twisting and vomiting river water. He's alive! Willow Kit's eyes shone. Then she turned and stared at Crookedpaw. Is he gonna take us home now? This is your home, Followtail exploded out of the reeds. She skidded to a stop and stared, huge-eyed, at her kits. You've grown, she breathed. You've grown so big. Her mew cracked. Followtail! Grey Kit ducked away from Timberfur and raced to her mother, rubbing her muzzle along Followtail's jaw and purring loud enough to wake the birds. Willow Kit rushed to join her, tucking herself under Followtail's belly. On the far shore, the Wind Clan warriors were helping Reedfeather up the slope. His drenched fur clung to his bony shape, and he was limping badly. Alfar slid into the water and swam toward home. Hellstar followed. Crookedpaw shivered. Just for a moment, Hellstar had wanted to kill Reedfeather. Not for his own sake. Reedfeather had done nothing to him personally, but for the sake of his clan, because Hellstar truly believed the kits belonged to RiverClan. Will I ever fight like that? A voice breathed in Crookedpaw's ear. Mapleshade. Her mew was fierce. One day it will be your turn to show your clan you are worthy of being their leader, Crookedpaw. I have faith in you, young warrior.